Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Hi everyone, Kamusta? I'm Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. So for today's lesson, we are going to talk about top 25 verbs that you will need when you go to the Philippines. So let's go ahead and get started. Maging, to become. Maging, to become. Maging can mean to be or to become. Mahirap maging hindi tapat sa sarili. It's hard not to be honest with yourself. Gustuhin, to like. So next word is gustuhin, to like. Nagustuhan niya ang pinadala mo. She liked what you sent. Gawin, to do. Next word is gawin, which means to do. It's easier said than done. In Filipino, we say, mas madaling sabihin kaysa gawin. And your mom will always use this because your mom always has many things that she wants you to do. Sabihin, to say. So our next verb is sabihin. In English, it can mean either to say or to tell. So for example, we want to say in English, don't tell our secret to anyone. In Filipino, you would say, huwag mong sabihin ang sikreto natin kahit kanino. Ipaliwanag, to explain. Ipaliwanag, to explain. Dapat ipaliwanag ng guro ng mabuti ang paksa. The teacher should explain the matter thoroughly. So for example, you're resting, looking at your phone, and then here comes your mom and tells you, magpaliwanag ka. Explain. This is very useful when you have to talk to your mom. Marinig, to hear. Marinig, to hear. Hindi kita marinig. I can't hear you. Again, you can use this when you're talking to your mom. Probably you can tell her, I didn't do this because I didn't hear you tell me do this. That's a very unsatisfactory answer for your mom all the time. Pumunta, to go. Pumunta, to go. So we can say, gusto kong pumunta sa Palawan. I want to go to Palawan. Tara na, biyahe tayo. Alamin, to know. Alamin, to know. Gusto kong alamin kung mas mahirap bang matutunan ang Japanese o Chinese. I want to know if it's harder to learn Japanese or Chinese. Compared to Japanese or Chinese, Filipino is easier, right? So, please take the time to study Filipino. You will take less time than studying Japanese than if you go and study Japanese or Chinese. So, you know what to learn. Kunin, to take. Kunin, to take. For example, we want to say in English, please take the bill so that we can leave already. In Filipino, what you will say is, kunin mo na ang bill natin para makaalis na tayo. So when you go to the Philippines and you eat at a restaurant and you want to ask for the check, just do this hand sign. Makita, to see. Makita, to see. Huwag kang mainis pag nakita mo. Don't get annoyed when you see it. So, what are the things that you get annoyed when you see? Dumating, to arrive. Dumating, to arrive. Dumating na ang pinakahihintay mong balita. Your long-awaited news has finally arrived. Isipin, to think. Isipin, to think. Isipin nating mabuti bago magdesisyon. Let's think of it thoroughly before making a decision. Actually, this is very important because every day of your life you have to think. Tumingin, to look. Tumingin, to look. Huwag kang tumingin sa malayo pag may kausap ka. Don't look far away when you're talking with someone. Because obviously you're talking with someone, right? How would it feel like if you're talking to this person face to face and you're looking at the side like this? Naisin, to want. Naisin, to want. I want to become an engineer rather than be a doctor. Mas nais kong maging inhinyero kaysa maging doktor. Magbigay, to give. Magbigay, to give. For example, someone asks you, oh, who can give me advice on something? And then you say, Alex gives excellent advice on whatever that is. In Filipino, how you would say it, magaling magbigay ng payo si Alex. Gamitin, to use. Gamitin, to use. So for example, I don't know where you can use actually you can use gamitin a lot. For example, let's use it in a proper sentence. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ang may nakasulat na bawal gamitin. So, in English, we can say, we can't use the ones which are marked don't use. I have a pretty straightforward, don't use it. Hanapin, to find. Hanapin, to find. You're asking your mom, where is this thing that I'm looking for? So she says, Pina, find it in the second drawer. In Filipino, it means, hanapin mo sa ikalawang drawer. Usually, your mom will call you Pina, according to her, if you don't use your eyes to look for things. It's very useful. So just remember that if you are going to look for something, don't ask your mom because you don't know what kind of fate will befall you. You might be a pineapple at the end. Lumabas, to go out. Lumabas, or to go out. So you want to ask permission from your parents before you go out. How do we say it in Filipino? Magpaalam ka muna sa iyong mga magulang bago ka lumabas. Ask permission from your parents before you go out. Someday, kids, you will be parents too. Magtanong, to ask. Magtanong, to ask. So, for example, you have a new office mate and you want to tell your office mate, huwag kang mahiyang magtanong kapag hindi mo alam ang sagot. In English, what you just said means, don't hesitate to ask if you don't know the answer. Magtrabaho, to work. The next verb is magtrabaho, or to work. So for example, you want to say, as much as possible, I don't want to work overtime. In Filipino, you can tell your boss, ayaw kong magtrabaho ng overtime hanggat maaari. Mag, it's the way you conjugate verbs, but it's in Filipino. And then trabaho comes from the Spanish word trabajo. Pumasok, to enter. Pumasok, to enter. For example, you went to a club and you have a friend who looks 18, actually, who looks younger than 18, like a high school student. So you can tell this friend, you are not allowed to enter the club if you're under 18 years old. Or in Filipino, bawal pumasok sa club ang mas bata sa 18 taong gulang. Maramdaman, to feel. So next verb is maramdaman, or to feel. For example, you really are irritated with a person and you don't want the person to feel that you're irritated with him or her. So if you want to say in English, I don't want her to feel that I'm frustrated, then you would say in Filipino, ayaw kong maramdaman niya ang inis ko sa kanya. But I think you have to approach her and tell her that you are frustrated. So go ahead and tell her. Subukan, to try. Subukan. This again, some like really inspiring example sentences that we have here. You want to say to your friend, because you want to be really encouraging, why don't you try it before you say that you can't? And assuming that this friend cannot understand English, then you would have to learn the Filipino. You would say, bakit di mo subukan bago mo sabihin na hindi mo kaya? Mag-iwan, to leave. Mag-iwan. It actually means to leave something. You want to say in Filipino, mag-iwan ka ng 500 pesos or ng 500 piso para pambili ng pagkain. In English, please leave 500 pesos to buy food. Tumakbo, to run. Last verb for this lesson is tumakbo, or to run. So, for example, you are running and then you realize it's 200 meters already. So you would say, it's tiring to run more than 200 meters. And in Filipino, if you really want to say it, you would say, nakakapagod tumakbo ng higit sa 200 metro. So that's it for our lesson for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Do you have any other Filipino verbs that you know that didn't make it to the list? Go ahead and don't hesitate. Please subscribe. Stay here until the next lesson begins.
May isang batang lalaki na nagbabasa ng kanyang talaarawan. Ano ang unang bagay na ginawa ng batang lalaki ngayong araw na ito?
Maganda ang panahon. Nag-swimming ako sa pool noong hapon. Tapos, nagpunta ako sa sinehan nung kinagabihan. Nag-aral din ako ng buong umaga. Hindi na masama.
Ano ang unang bagay na ginawa ng batang lalaki ngayong araw na ito? May isang batang lalaki na nagbabasa ng kanyang talaarawan. Ano ang unang bagay na ginawa ng batang lalaki ngayong araw na ito?
Maganda ang panahon. Nag-swimming ako sa pool noong hapon. Tapos, nagpunta ako sa sinehan nung kinagabihan. Nag-aral din ako ng buong umaga. Hindi na masama.
May isang lalaki at isang babae na tumitingin sa isang larawan. Anong larawan ang tinitignan nila? Ito yung larawan ng soccer team kung saan miyembro ang anak mo, hindi ba? Sino dito ang anak mo?
Ito,
Ah, siya ang pinakamatangkad.
oo. Mas matangkad pa siya kaysa sa akin.
Anong larawan ang tinitignan nila? May isang lalaki at isang babae na tumitingin sa isang larawan. Anong larawan ang tinitignan nila? Ito yung larawan ng soccer team kung saan miyembro ang anak mo, hindi ba? Sino dito ang anak mo?
Ito,
Ah, siya ang pinakamatangkad.
oo. Mas matangkad pa siya kaysa sa akin.
Kamusta?
Kamusta?
Kamusta ka na?
Mabuti naman. Salamat. Ikaw, kamusta ka na?
Ganun pa rin, gaya noon.
Kamusta? Ako po si Ana.
Kamusta? Ako po si Maya.
Ikinagagalak kong makilala ka.
Ako rin. Masaya akong makilala ka.
Magandang umaga. Tuloy po kayo.
Salamat. May regalo ako para sa'yo.
Talaga? Maraming salamat.
Walang anuman.
Aray! Paumanin po.
Bakit po? Ano pong nangyari?
Inaapakan niyo po ang paa ko.
Pasensya na po. Hindi ko po talaga sinasadya. Magandang gabi po. Tuloy po kayo.
Pahingi po ako ng menu.
Opo, sandali lang po.
Pahingi rin po ng tubig.
Sige po, sandali lang po.
Miss, kunin niyo na po ang order ko.
Sige po.
May isang babae na nagtatanong sa salesman sa isang tindahan ng libro. Anong libro ang gustong makita ng babae? Mawalang galang lang. Gusto ko sanang makita yung libro sa istanteng iyon.
Anong librong gusto mo?
Yung tungkol sa mga kotse.
Sandali lang. Eto ba?
Oo, iyan nga.
Eto na.
Anong libro ang gustong makita ng babae? May isang babae na nagtatanong sa salesman sa isang tindahan ng libro. Anong libro ang gustong makita ng babae? Mawalang galang lang. Gusto ko sanang makita yung libro sa istanteng iyon.
Anong librong gusto mo?
Yung tungkol sa mga kotse.
Sandali lang. Eto ba?
Oo, iyan nga.
Eto na.
May isang babae at isang lalaki na tumitingin sa menu sa isang kainan. Ano ang o-orderin ng lalaki?
Ano ang orderin mo?
Mukhang masarap ang pizza. Sa palagay ko, yun ang o-orderin ko.
Nagpizza ako kahapon. Kaya
Okay, ano kaya kung hamburger?
mukhang masarap. Sige, yun ang orderin ko.
Ano ang o-orderin ng lalaki? May isang babae at isang lalaki na tumitingin sa menu sa isang kainan. Ano ang o-orderin ng lalaki?
Ano ang orderin mo?
Mukhang masarap ang pizza. Sa palagay ko, yun ang o-orderin ko.
Nagpizza ako kahapon. Kaya
Okay. Ano kaya kung hamburger?
mukhang masarap. Sige, yun ang orderin ko.
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Hi, I'm Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Today we are going to learn 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Salamat, pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. Salamat, pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. If you start learning now, you'll be one of those few foreigners who can amaze Filipinos. Isang taon lang ang kinailangan ko para maging mahusay sa pagsasalita. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Isang taon lang ang kinailangan ko para maging mahusay sa pagsasalita. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. So I don't know how easy actually Filipino is for foreign people. I don't know if in 1 year you'll be able to speak it. Probably like the basics of it, right? Because Filipino, you don't really need to learn new alphabet. And also, some of the words are in Spanish. So if you kind of know Spanish, then you would most probably understand some of the words. But for you to be able to speak 1 year, I think is fine. But for you to be able to actually understand all the nuances in the language, then 1 year is probably a bit too short. Makakapagsalita ako ng Filipino gaya ng isang Pilipino sa loob ng 3 taon. I'll speak Filipino like a native speaker in 3 years. Makakapagsalita ako ng Filipino gaya ng isang Pilipino sa loob ng 3 taon. I'll speak Filipino like a native speaker in 3 years. That's actually a good target, right? But of course, there's still so many things that you won't be, probably like inside jokes, right? Like, or especially since Filipino language is, like any other language, is continuously evolving, right? Because we have lots of slang now, right? Like slang that you get from American slang, and then also gay language, gay lingo, right? So all of those words, and then usually when you learn Filipino, you won't get to hear those slang or like street words. And most people actually use a bit of like casual, even in, they only use really formal Filipino in, say, formal situations, formal settings. So this is a good target, but good luck. 10 taon na akong nag-aaral ng Filipino. I've been learning Filipino for 10 years. 10 taon na akong nag-aaral ng Filipino. I've been learning Filipino for 10 years. That's actually very good. I mean, for me, for us, like English, we take so many years and still there's some things that you cannot understand. So for instance, we learn English, like standard English, right? And then you talk to, say, an American or to a British person. And then there are so many words that you cannot understand. But you cannot understand them because these are like, but it's like the usage of the words is different from how you learned it from the dictionary. Sometimes when you speak to them, you sound so formal. 10 years is very good. Kaya kong manood ng mga pelikulang Filipino nang walang subtitle. I can watch Filipino movies without subtitles. Kaya kong manood ng mga pelikulang Filipino nang walang subtitle. I can watch Filipino movies without subtitles. We are releasing so many indie movies recently. Those are really good movies, so please watch Filipino movies. And if you can see them without subtitles, very good. Kaya kong magkabisa ng higit kumulang mga 50 bagong salitang Filipino kada araw. I can memorize around 50 new Filipino words a day. Kaya kong magkabisa ng higit kumulang mga 50 bagong salitang Filipino kada araw. I can memorize around 50 new Filipino words a day. Oh, that's very impressive. I don't have memory. Masaya at madaling aralin ang Filipino. Filipino is fun and easy to learn. Masaya at madaling aralin ang Filipino. Filipino is fun and easy to learn. Yeah, which actually it is, right? It's very, I think it's easier compared to, say, Japanese, or Chinese. Because as I've said, first, Filipino, you don't need to learn new alphabet, which immediately makes it easy, right? Because learning a new alphabet is very hard, right? I mean, if you say, for example, walk in the streets and then you can read the signs, that's already something. Because say you go to Japan, then you see all the signs and you cannot read kanji or hiragana or katakana, right? Then you cannot, it's like as if you're, I don't know, you're lost. But at least with Filipino, then you can immediately read the signs. And then the next thing is, you learn the words. Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo. I completely understood everything you said. Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo. I completely understood everything you said. Yeah, so when someone tells you this, then they're amazed. Yeah, so that's why they're just like, oh, great. So for example, someone tells you this very long explanation about something. Then as a Filipino, you can simply say, gets ko. Because that's very Filipino actually, which means I got it. Marami akong alam na slang sa Filipino. I know a lot of slang words in Filipino. Marami akong alam na slang sa Filipino. I know a lot of slang words in Filipino. It depends also when you use the slang words, because not in all circumstances can you use slang words, right? Especially if you're just meeting someone for the first time, then you would want to be a bit more formal. Then becoming too formal is not natural. It can be seen as sarcastic even. Actually, I think the key to being thought of as fluent is like getting this balance of being like casual, natural, and also a bit like more formal, right? I think so. Nakakabasa na ako ng nobela sa Filipino. I can now read a novel in Filipino. Nakakabasa na ako ng nobela sa Filipino. I can now read a novel in Filipino, which is very good. If you read actual like old Filipino novels, it's very, what do you call this, like flowery. It's like it really evokes emotions when you read Filipino novels. It's actually hard to write and really say old poetic Filipino now. So that's it for today's Filipino top words. What sentence would you say to amaze us? But actually, we're easily amazed, so don't hesitate to write anything down below or comment, because you might comment negative things, right? Okay. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see other videos like this, then head on to filipinopod101.com. See you in the next lesson.
Naintindihan ko ang lahat ng sinabi mo.
Marami akong alam. Inay, ito na po ang inyong pansit. Na binili ko sa kanto. Inay, wag mo akong iwan, inay. Hi, my name is Erica, and welcome to Filipino Top Words. Our lesson for today is how to respond to how are you. Let's go. Kamusta? Kamusta. How are you? So the first word is, how are you? In Filipino, kamusta. So this is very useful when you pass by someone, you want to know how they are, right? Or you just want to ask someone how they are. At ikaw. At ikaw. And you. At ikaw. Or in English, and you. How do you usually respond when people ask you, how are you? And you. So if you're trying to avoid answering this question, you can ask, at ikaw, or, and you. Probably you're like feeling too tired from work or something, right? Or you can, like casually, more people would say, ikaw, or just simply, ikaw. It all means, and you. So it's a kind of like a nice gesture if someone asks you, how are you? And then you want to ask the same question because you just want to be nice. Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? How have you been recently? So if you want to be more specific about asking them how they are in a certain period of time, you can ask, "Kamusta ka naman kamakailan?" Or, "How have you been recently?" So, probably you would have friends that would have gone to vacation or would have found a new job or would have graduated from university, which is all me. And then you can ask them, "How have you been recently?" Mabuti ako. Mabuti ako. I'm fine. So how do you answer all these how are you questions and variations of how are you? First, you can say, if you are really feeling this, mabuti ako, or I'm fine. Of course, you can say it if you're not fine, right? I mean, if you just want to because sometimes when you say, I'm not so okay, I'm feeling a bit down, then they would ask you more things. But sometimes if you don't want to answer any of these things, but you are not fine, you can still say, I'm fine. But in Filipino, you ask people how are you because you want to know how they are. Or we don't really say this as a greeting. Okay naman ako. Okay naman ako. I'm not bad. Aside from I'm fine, how can you respond to how are you? You can say, okay naman ako, or I'm not bad. So if you are feeling like saying that you are not so fine, but you are also not fine, you can say, well, I'm not bad. It's okay. Everything's cool. But I'm crying inside. I'm dead inside. Okay. Inaantok ako. Inaantok ako. I'm sleepy. If you're feeling sleepy, you can say, inaantok ako, or I'm sleepy. After lunch, usually that's the time when you feel this, you're really sleepy. Even though you have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy, or sometimes you don't have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy. So, you can say it. It's valid, it's okay. Just don't say it to your boss. I don't think, if your boss asks you, how are you? I'm sleepy. Oh, that's not really good. Well, probably you should go home, not come back anymore. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. That's how it will go, right? Masama ang pakiramdam ko. Masama ang pakiramdam ko. I'm feeling bad. Or if you are not feeling so well, you can say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Or, I'm feeling bad. So, you can say this if you have a bit of cold, for instance, or your stomach is upset, or what else? Or you have a broken heart, like those kinds of things. So, if you want to say that you're feeling bad, you say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Okay ako. Okay ako. I'm okay. But what if you're just fine? What if you're just okay, but you don't want to say, I'm fine? Or mabuti naman ako, or ayos naman ako. You can also say casually, okay ako, which is very casual. Very simple, okay ako. Okay na okay ako. Okay na okay ako. I'm great. If you want to say that you are really doing great, then you can say, okay na okay ako. You would have to note that in Filipino, when you repeat words, it what's it called? It's it's a superlative version of the adjective, kind of, but it's not. But it's kind of amps up the impact of the adjective. So it's equivalent to very. So you would say okay na okay ako, meaning I'm super duper okay, right? Or if you're really, for instance, sleepy, you would say antok na antok ako, instead of just saying antok ako, right? Salamat sa pagtatanong. Salamat sa pagtatanong. Thank you for asking. And for instance, you were feeling bad and then this person that asked you, how are you, made you feel happy, then you can say, thank you for asking, or salamat sa pagtatanong. Because of course, you felt happy that someone asked you, especially if you're feeling bad. So that's it for the end of this lesson. Hope you learned something new. And what do you usually say to your friends, your colleagues, people who ask you how you are? And how do they respond to you? Leave them in the comment section and don't forget to like, subscribe, and visit FilipinoPod101.com to learn more Filipino. Salamat! Hanggang sa muli! Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Erica and welcome to Filipino Top Words. For today, our lesson is the top 10 phrases your parents always say. So let's see what your parents usually say to you. Mag-ingat ka. Mag-ingat ka. Be careful. So usually your parents will say this to you if you are leaving the house, or usually send you a text, "Oh, be careful." Or sometimes they will jokingly say, mag-ingat sila sa'yo. In English, they should be careful of you because you are a danger to society. Look at you. Tumahimik ka. Tumahimik ka. Be quiet. So usually if you're very loud, your parents will tell this to you. Your mom might be mad because you said something or you're just talking back, right? And then she'll say, tumahimik ka. Or just like sometimes you're just like very talkative and your mom is like watching TV, some soap opera. She will say, tumahimik ka. Magtino ka nga. Magtino ka nga. Behave. The weight of the meaning in Filipino is kind of different in English, right? Because in English, you would just say, okay, behave. But in Filipino, it's as if like you did something really bad. Just like if you watch many, like say, family dramas or very dramatic movies, Filipino movies, there's always the scene where the dad is telling the kid, magtino ka nga. Gawin mo ang iyong takdang aralin. Gawin mo ang iyong takdang aralin. Do your homework. This is very useful, and this is something that you would always hear from your parents, especially if you have a helicopter mom, right? Helicopter mom is like those moms that are usually over. This is real. Helicopter parenting is a parent who pays extremely close attention to a child or children's experiences and problem, particularly at educational institutions. You know, those kinds of parents who are always waiting. Actually, my mom was like that. No, she's not a helicopter mom, but she's always like waiting outside the school, waiting for me to come out of the school. I think my mom just hangs out there because she has many friends. Doesn't really care. Matulog ka na. Matulog ka na. Go to bed. I actually go to bed earlier than my mom, so I tell her, let's go to bed because I just want to sleep. I don't know what she's doing. This is a very common phrase that I hear between my mom and my sister. Because my sister, I don't know, she watches so much telenovelas in the evening. Magbibilang ako hanggang 3. Magbibilang ako hanggang 3. I'm going to count to 3. But my mom just counts to 1. I don't know if she's really good at counting, but she just counts to 1 and they're like, pa, right? Tumigil ka. Tumigil ka. Stop. I don't know, it's a common thing to hear from your mom. Because I know she's just always irritated. She's always irritated. You do something and then she's like, tumigil ka. You do something, tumigil ka, right? I remember my sister's always initiating fights. Not me. She's always starting the fight. And she just bites. And when she starts biting, I'm just like, no, I'm out. I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. Anong sinabi mo? Anong sinabi mo? What did you say? When you say something a bit like, they didn't like it, when you say it or how you said it, the words you use, they would say, what did you say? But I think they just have a problem with their hearing. Hindi ako nagbibiro. Hindi ako nagbibiro. I'm not kidding. Yeah, you should understand this when she says this. And usually she's not kidding. Because she's always like, I'm not kidding. If you don't stop this, right? Hindi ako nagbibiro. Kung hindi ka tumigil, kung hindi ka titigil, blah, 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 blah. Then a long list of the stuff that she won't do or she would do, depending, right? She won't do, for instance, she won't like cook anymore or she won't help you with your homework or stuff like that. Moms are always not kidding. Patayin mo na ang TV. Kung hindi, patayin mo na ang TV. Kung hindi, turn the TV off now, or else. So that is the same thing, the same scenario that I was talking about when she says, I'm not kidding, or else, because there's always an or else, right? So, turn off the TV or turn off the PC, right? Patayin mo na ang TV, patayin mo na ang PC, or else, kung hindi, and then a list of things that she would do or she won't do. So this is the end of our lesson. What does your mom usually tell you? Yourmom.com to learn more Filipino. Hanggang sa muli! In the last lesson, we learned how to be grateful to people by saying salamat. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in the Philippines. Handa na ba kayo? Are you ready? Then let's start. First, we'll learn the greetings we use when meeting people. Kamusta? Kamusta. Do you remember this from the first lesson? Kamusta literally means, how are you? But it is used as hi or hello. Musta is a shortened version of kamusta, which you can use when greeting friends. Musta, for formal situations, we use kamusta po. Kamusta po. Now, here are sometimes specific greetings used when meeting people. Magandang araw. Magandang araw. Literally, magandang araw means good day. To be more specific about which time in the day we greet someone, we use magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, and magandang hapon, meaning good morning, good noon, and good afternoon respectively. Magandang umaga. Magandang tanghali. Magandang hapon. During the evening, there is only one greeting, and that is magandang gabi. Magandang gabi. Maganda means beautiful or good. The connector NG is added to connect maganda and gabi. In formal situations, you just need to add po to the Filipino greetings I've already mentioned. Magandang araw po, magandang umaga po, magandang tanghali po, magandang hapon po, magandang gabi po. Are you ready for more? Next are some greetings we use when leaving. To say goodbye in Filipino, we say paalam. Paalam. We also have sige, mauna na ako. Literally, all right, I'll go ahead. And it's a more casual way of saying goodbye. Sige, mauna na ako. Finally, we have hanggang sa muli, meaning see you again. Hanggang sa muli. Again, to make these formal, we just need to add po. Paalam po. Sige, mauna na po ako. Hanggang sa muli po. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Filipino. Let's review them all again. Here are the greetings we use when meeting people. Kamusta? Magandang araw. Magandang umaga. Magandang tanghali. Magandang hapon. Magandang gabi. When leaving, we have paalam. Sige, mauna na ako. Hanggang sa muli. For greeting people who are older than you, just add po. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Erica's tips. Another famous greeting you might hear in the Philippines is mabuhay. This literally means live, but it's used to mean welcome. It is used in formal situations like when welcoming an audience during events, or when welcoming people into the country, but not necessarily when welcoming guests to your home. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Hi, I'm Erica. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Filipino expressions. It's super easy, and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Filipino. Are you ready? Here we go. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Hi, I'm Erica. It's nice to meet you. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Did you get it? Let's take it step by step. Start by saying, Kamusta? This means, how are you? But is commonly used to say, hi in Filipino. Next, say, ako si, I am, and then your name. My name is Erica, so I'll say, ako si Erica. Finally, say, kinagagalak kong makilala ka. This means, it's nice to meet you. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Next, we're going to learn how to introduce ourselves in formal Filipino. But first, I'll teach you 2 words that turns any Filipino sentence formal. They are po and opo. Po, opo. All Filipinos learn these 2 words when they are young because they are a must when speaking politely to those who are older. Now here's how to introduce yourself in formal Filipino. Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. How are you? I'm Erica Reyes. It's nice to meet you. Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Did you notice the word po in this introduction? Let's compare it with the informal introduction we learned earlier. First, we have kamusta po instead of just kamusta. As we've said before, kamusta means how are you and has essentially the same use as hi in English. It comes from the Spanish phrase como esta. We add the word po to this to make it polite. For the next sentence, there is no need to change ako si or I am. However, saying your full name is considered more formal. In the Philippines, we say our first names first and last names last. Finally, pay attention to the ending. We went from kinagagalak kong makilala ka to kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Ka or you is changed to the plural pronoun kayo to make the sentence more formal. The pronoun is moved to the front of the verb, and ng is added to connect the words. Finally, we also add po to the sentence to show respect. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Filipino is, Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. The formal way to introduce yourself is, Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Now it's time for Erica's tips. Have you gotten hold of saying, kinagagalak kong makilala ka? Well, you might be surprised, but Filipinos say, nice to meet you, more often than its Filipino counterpart. This is because many English words and phrases are used in daily conversation since English is the second official language of the Philippines. Filipinos also shake hands during first meetings, just like in many Western cultures. But of course, if you use the proper Filipino introduction, your new Filipino friends will definitely be impressed. In the last lesson, we learned the most common greetings in Filipino. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? This phrase can be a lifesaver. The majority of Filipino people understand English. But if you ask in Filipino, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to ask it. Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Let's break down the sentence. In Filipino, the verb can come before the subject. Nagsasalita means speaking, followed by ka, which means you. Next, there is ba, which is the question marking particle. After it comes nang, which acts as an object marking particle, marking Ingles, which, as you might have guessed, is English. Another common way to ask if someone can speak English is, marunong ka bang mag-Ingles? Literally, this means, can you do English? Marunong ka bang mag-Ingles? Now we're going to make these sentences formal. Filipinos follow the Spanish custom of changing a singular pronoun to plural in order to show respect in formal situations, so we change ka to kayo and then move it after ba. We also need to add po as a sign of respect. Everything else stays the same. Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Marunong po ba kayong mag-Ingles? Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Marunong po ba kayong mag-Ingles? If you want to be even more formal, you can add mawalang galang lang po before the sentence. It means, excuse me. Mawalang galang lang po. Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Excuse me, do you speak English? Mawalang galang lang po. Marunong po ba kayong mag-Ingles? Here are some common responses you might hear. Oo. Yes. Oo. Konti. A little. Konti. Hindi. No. Hindi. Now it's time for Erica's tips. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can use this question with any language you need. Just substitute Ingles with Espanol for Spanish, Hapon for Japanese, Italiano for Italian, Aleman for German, and so on. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase, mawalang galang lang po. Nagsasalita po ba kayo ng Ingles? Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the phrase, mawalang galang lang po, which means, excuse me, in formal Filipino. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use this and other words when apologizing in Filipino. We can use mawalang galang lang po when we need to stop someone to ask a question. It literally means just to be rude, but is used to mean excuse me. For example, mawalang galang lang po, nasaan po ang palengke? Excuse me, where is the market? Mawalang galang lang po, nasaan po ang palengke? There is another phrase we use to mean excuse me, and that is paumanhin po. However, paumanhin po is used when you have bothered someone and could also mean I'm sorry. Paumanhin po. We use mawalang galang lang po and paumanhin po exclusively for formal situations. For informal situations, Filipinos usually just say, excuse me. But if there is something you really want to apologize for, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is, patawarin mo ako. It means, please forgive me, and is used in informal situations. Patawarin mo ako. In formal situations, we say, patawarin niyo po ako. Patawarin niyo po ako. Here we added po and turned the second person pronoun into plural. Another common phrase Filipinos use for apologizing is, pasensya na po kayo. Pasensya na po kayo. This phrase is usually heard from shopkeepers when apologizing to customers. It can be translated as, please be patient with us. Now it's time for Erica's tips. In the Philippines, it is normal to simply say, excuse me, or I'm sorry, since English is commonly used in conversation. You could also add po to these phrases to make them sound a bit more formal and sincere. Excuse me po, or excuse po, I'm sorry po, or sorry po. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Filipino. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Handa na ba kayo? Are you ready? Then let's go. Here's how we say thank you in Filipino. It's very easy. Salamat. Salamat. Salamat means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add maraming. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Marami means a lot, and the NG is a connector added to marami to connect marami and salamat. Maraming salamat literally means many thanks and is equivalent to thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned the informal and formal way of speaking Filipino. Salamat is the informal way to thank someone. When thanking someone older than you need to use the polite formal form. Do you remember what we need in order to do that? That's right. We just need to add the word po. Salamat po. Salamat po. If you really want to thank someone in a formal setting, you can add maraming, which means a lot, as we have just learned. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po. Now, how do you answer? It's easy. Just say, walang anuman. Walang anuman. Walang anuman literally means it's nothing, but it is the equivalent of you are welcome. Wala means nothing, while anuman stands for whatsoever. It is a very common phrase to say when replying to a friend or a stranger who is thanking you. To make it formal and more polite, just add po. Walang anuman po. Walang anuman po. So when someone says salamat or maraming salamat po to you, you can simply reply with walang anuman or walang anuman po. Yes, it's that easy.
And must-know vocabulary for the restaurant. Food is definitely a big thing in the Philippines, and if you come to the Philippines, you need to try a lot of things. Everyone says it's kind of cheap in the Philippines, so try as much as you want. Let's go! Waiter. Waiter. It's one of those English words that just like ends up in Filipino language as well. Waiter. So as a sample sentence, maybe you're not used to having all male waiters all the time. So here's a sentence for you. Ngayon lang nakakita ng kainan na puro lalaki ang waiter. Ngayon lang ako nakakita ng kainan na puro lalaki ang waiter. This is my first time in a restaurant with all male waiters. Maybe it's just that shift when you were in, it was all just waiters for that shift. Waitress. Well, in English, there's waiter, and then, of course, if there's a female server, then you would say waitress. And that's also what we have gotten from English. We just also call them waitress. Waitress means waitress. For example, if go to a restaurant and someone, the waitress serving there, you could use this sentence. Kilala ko ang waitress na iyon. Kilala ko ang waitress na iyon. I know that waitress. Well, maybe you should ask for her autograph. Don't ask for a discount. Come on, guys. She's working. It's pay her and give her tip, even if you know her. Menu, meaning menu. It's actually spelled the same way, but because in Filipino, we have a tendency to pronounce things the way they are written. So if it's written MENU, there's no Y in there. So why would we say it's as a menu? It's a menu. And if there's just a small amount of things you could see from the menu, you could use this sentence. Napakakonti ng pagpipilian sa menu nila. Napakakonti ng pagpipilian sa menu nila. They have very few selections on their menu. Well, it's very good for people who can't decide, like me. So sometimes it's not really a bad thing. Actually, like having a tons of things on menu may actually be like, oh my god, this is gonna take forever. And maybe it's more efficient and also, yeah, if they have so many things in their menu, then they have to prepare that all like in the kitchen, so you don't know if like it might take you longer to get your food if they have more things on their menu. So be thankful that there's only just a very few selection on your menu. Umorder, to order. In case you're one of those people who get hangry, which means angry when you're getting hungry, then you might want to memorize this sentence. Umorder na tayo kasi gutom na ako. Umorder na tayo kasi gutom na ako. Let's order because I'm hungry. You know, there's always that one person who always like wants to chika, like wants to gossip before even looking at the menu. So sometimes you just have to be like just let's order because like it's gonna take them a while to prepare our food and I'm already hungry, so like just look at the menu already and order first before we do any chica or taking pictures or taking selfie. Tubig, meaning water. This is one of my favorite things in a restaurant. Tubig. Because, you know, in Philippines it's hot and it's like you just like after walking around all day or doing shopping or something, then you just want to sit down and like get that like very refreshing cold water. Yeah. But not only is it refreshing, it's also good for you. So just like in this sentence, magtubig lang tayo kasi libre na, maganda pa para sa kalusugan. Magtubig lang tayo kasi libre na, maganda pa para sa kalusugan. Let's just have water since it's free and it's good for the health. So, this is true. Water for life. Panghimagas, meaning dessert. Oh no, but you don't want to hear this sentence. Hindi ako mahilig sa panghimagas. Hindi ako mahilig sa panghimagas. I'm not fond of desserts. Well, if you are fond of desserts, here's the sentence you might want to use. Mahilig ako sa panghimagas. Mahilig ako sa panghimagas. Meaning, I'm fond of desserts. So, there you go. Okay, here's another vocabulary you must know for the restaurant, which is chef. It also means chef. We have this culture now where we have celebrity chefs, so we might want to use this sentence. Sikat ang chef sa kainan na ito. Sikat ang chef sa kainan na ito. The chef of this restaurant is famous. I guess it's also another way of saying the food in this restaurant is gonna be expensive. Masarap. Delicious. Yeah, definitely if you want to say that like what you ate was very good, then you should say it's masarap. For example, like you just ate somewhere that serves you fried chicken and you really thought it was delicious, then you could say this sample sentence. Masarap ang fried chicken. Masarap ang fried chicken. Fried chicken is delicious. I guess if you just like fried chicken in general, you could also say this. Or if you'd like to recommend the fried chicken in a certain store, then yeah, please go ahead and use this sentence. Kainan, which means restaurant. I guess kainan is just like generally a place where you eat. Sometimes it can be a canteen or a cafeteria. It's also like a restaurant. Mahilig akong kumain sa mga murang kainan. Mahilig akong kumain sa mga murang kainan. I like to eat at cheap restaurants. Yeah, I like this too actually. Like there is some like eateries in the Philippines which are known for like serving like they're called lutong bahay, which literally means like home cooked. So it's actually just like a house and they have like I guess a big enough area like in the garage or something, and then they just like cook like whatever like 3 sets of main dish, and then people just like go there during lunch and it's very cheap. but it's still like it has that home cooked vibe, so it's very good. Resibo, meaning receipt. So you go to a restaurant and you want your company to pay for it, so you might want to ask for that receipt. Your boss might say this to you, or like you might have a rule for your company saying, laging hingiin ang resibo pagkatapos kumain sa kainan. Laging hingiin ang resibo pagkatapos kumain sa kainan. Always ask for the receipt after eating at a restaurant. Do your invoices properly?
Want to speed up your language learning? Get access to all of our best PDF cheat sheets for free. Just click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now.
A table for 5.
Lamesa para sa 4. Lamesa para sa 4.
Absolutely.
Sigurado. Sigurado.
All right.
Puede. Puede. Are you all right? Ayos ka lang? Ayos ka lang?
Are you on Facebook?
May Facebook ka ba? May Facebook ka ba?
Awesome.
Galing. Galing.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Paalam. Paalam.
Can I borrow this?
Maaari ko bang hiramin ito? Maaari ko bang hiramin ito? Can I have a bag, please?
Pwede ba akong makahingi ng bag? Pwede ba akong makahingi ng bag?
Can I have a receipt, please?
Pwede po akong makahingi ng resibo? Pwede po akong makahingi ng resibo?
Can I sit here?
Maaari ba akong umupo dito? Maaari ba akong umupo dito?
Can I try it on?
Maaari ko bang subukan ito? Maaari ko bang subukan ito?
Can you download this file?
Maaari mong i-download ang file na ito? Maaari mong i-download ang file na ito?
Check. 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 Congratulations.
Maligayang pagbati. Maligayang pagbati.
Could I have your attention, please?
Pwede ko po bang kunin ang inyong atensyon? Pwede ko po bang kunin ang inyong atensyon?
Delicious.
Sarap. Sarap.
Do you need anything?
May kailangan ka ba? May kailangan ka ba?
Do you speak English?
Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles?
Do you understand?
Naiintindihan mo ba? Naiintindihan mo ba?
Does this bus go to?
Ang bus na ito ay pupunta ba sa... Ang bus na ito ay pupunta ba sa...
Don't do it. Huwag mo itong gawin. Huwag mo itong gawin.
Don't mention it.
Huwag mo nang alalahanin iyon. Huwag mo nang alalahanin iyon.
Don't worry.
Huwag mag-alala. Huwag mag-alala.
Everything is great.
Mabuti ang lahat. Mabuti ang lahat.
Excuse me, do you know where the is?
Excuse me, alam mo ba kung saan ang... Excuse me, alam mo ba kung saan ang...
Excuse me.
Paumanhin. Paumanhin.
Go straight ahead.
Diretso ka lang. Diretso ka lang.
Good afternoon.
Magandang hapon. Magandang hapon.
Good evening.
Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi.
Good morning.
Magandang umaga. Magandang umaga.
Good night.
Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi.
Goodbye.
Paalam. Paalam.
Happy birthday.
Maligayang kaarawan. Maligayang kaarawan.
Hello.
Kamusta? Kamusta?
Help.
Tulong. Tulong. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hold on.
Kumapit ka. Kumapit ka.
How are you?
Kamusta? Kamusta?
How do I get to the...
Paano ako makakapunta sa... Paano ako makakapunta sa...
How do you do?
Kumusta ka? Kumusta ka?
How do you pronounce this?
Paano mo bigkasin ito? Paano mo bigkasin ito?
How have you been?
Kamusta ka na? Kamusta ka na?
How is it?
Kumusta ang lasa? Kumusta ang lasa?
How is your mother?
Kamusta ang nanay mo? Kamusta ang nanay mo?
How long will you stay?
Gaano ka katagal mananatili? Gaano ka katagal mananatili?
How many people are there in your family?
Ilang tao ang nasa pamilya mo? Ilang tao ang nasa pamilya mo?
How much is it to...
Magkano po hanggang sa... Magkano po hanggang sa...
How much is this? Magkano to? Magkano to?
How much?
Magkano? Magkano?
How old are you?
Ilang taon ka na? Ilang taon ka na?
How is your day?
Kumusta ang araw mo? Kumusta ang araw mo?
How's the weather?
Ano ang lagay ng panahon? Ano ang lagay ng panahon?
Hurry up.
Bilisan mo! Bilisan mo!
I don't like it.
Hindi ko gusto ito. Hindi ko gusto ito.
I don't understand.
Hindi ko maintindihan. Hindi ko maintindihan.
I like it.
Gusto ko yan. Gusto ko yan.
I live in.
Nakatira ako sa. Nakatira ako sa.
I lost my phone.
Nawala ko ang cellphone ko. Nawala ko ang cellphone ko.
I need.
Kailangan ko ng porsyento. Kailangan ko ng porsyento.
I need to go to the.
Kailangan kong pumunta sa. Kailangan kong pumunta sa.
I understand.
Naiintindihan ko. Naiintindihan ko.
I'd like this.
Gusto ko to. Gusto ko to.
I'll have this.
Kukunin ko ito. Kukunin ko ito.
I'll have time next week.
Magkakaroon ako ng panahon sa susunod na linggo. Magkakaroon ako ng panahon sa susunod na linggo.
I'm.
Ako si. Ako si.
I'm allergic to shrimp.
Hindi ako hiyang sa hipon. Hindi ako hiyang sa hipon.
I'm at home.
Nasa bahay ako. Nasa bahay ako.
I'm busy this week.
Abala ako ngayong linggo. Abala ako ngayong linggo.
I'm fine.
Mabuti ako. Mabuti ako.
I'm from.
Galing ako sa. Galing ako sa.
I'm full.
Busog na ako. Busog na ako.
I'm good.
Mabuti naman ako. Mabuti naman ako.
I'm hungry.
Gutom na ako. Gutom na ako.
I'm looking forward to working with you.
Umaasa akong makapagtrabaho kasama mo. Umaasa akong makapagtrabaho kasama mo.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Pasensya, nahuli ako. Pasensya, nahuli ako.
I'm sorry.
Patawad ako. Patawad ako.
Is that it?
Ito ba iyon? Ito ba iyon?
Is that far from here?
Ang ba malayo mula dito? Ang Ba malayo mula dito?
Is there a near here?
Mayroon bang isang malapit dito? Mayroon bang isang malapit dito?
It was nice to meet you.
Nagagalak akong makilala ka. Nagagalak akong makilala ka.
It's difficult.
Ito ay mahirap. Ito ay mahirap.
It's okay.
Okay lang. Okay lang.
It's really good.
Masarap talaga ito. Masarap talaga ito.
It's sunny.
Maaraw. Maaraw.
It's true.
Totoo iyon. Totoo iyon.
I've heard a lot about you.
Madami na akong narinig tungkol sa'yo. Madami na akong narinig tungkol sa'yo.
Just a minute, please.
Saglit lang. Saglit lang.
Long time no see.
Ang tagal nating di nagkita. Ang tagal nating di nagkita.
Make yourself at home.
Ariin mo itong parang bahay mo. Ariin mo itong parang bahay mo.
May I help you?
Maaari ba kitang tulungan? Maaari ba kitang tulungan?
May I sit here?
Pwede ba akong umupo dito? Pwede ba akong umupo dito?
My mother is well.
Ang aking ina ay nasa mabuting kalagayan. Ang aking ina ay nasa mabuting kalagayan.
My name is.
Ang pangalan ko ay... Ang pangalan ko ay...
Nice to meet you.
Ikinalulugod kitang makilala. Ikinalulugod kitang makilala.
No problem.
Walang problema. Walang problema.
No.
Hindi. Hindi.
Of course not.
Siyempre hindi. Siyempre hindi.
Of course.
Siyempre. Siyempre.
Once again, please.
Pakiulit. Pakiulit.
Please forgive me.
Patawarin mo ako. Patawarin mo ako.
Please have a seat.
Mangyaring umupo. Mangyaring umupo.
Please write it down.
Pakisulat ito. Pakisulat ito.
Please?
Pakisuyo. Pakisuyo.
Really?
Talaga? Talaga?
Same for me.
Pareho para sa akin. Pareho para sa akin.
Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up.
Slower, please.
Pakibagalan. Pakibagalan.
So, what's new?
Anong bago? Anong bago?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Pasensya na sa abala. Pasensya na sa abala.
Sounds great.
Mahusay. Mahusay.
Stop here, please.
Pakihinto dito. Pakihinto dito.
Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Salamat! Salamat!
Thanks.
Salamat! Salamat!
That jacket looks nice on you.
Bagay sa yung jacket na yan. Bagay sa yung jacket na yan.
This is for you.
Ito ay para sa'yo. Ito ay para sa'yo.
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
Ngayong Sabado at Linggo, pupunta ako sa sine. Ngayong Sabado at Linggo, pupunta ako sa sine.
Welcome.
Maligayang pagdating. Maligayang pagdating.
We're meeting someone.
Makikipagkita kami sa isang tao. Makikipagkita kami sa isang tao.
What are you doing here?
Ano bang ginagawa mo dito? Ano bang ginagawa mo dito?
What are you doing this weekend?
Ano bang gagawin mo sa Sabado at Linggo? Ano bang gagawin mo sa Sabado at Linggo?
What are you doing?
Anong ginagawa mo? Anong ginagawa mo?
What do you do?
Anong ginagawa mo? Anong ginagawa mo?
What do you feel like eating?
Ano bang gusto mong kainin? Ano bang gusto mong kainin?
What do you recommend?
Ano ang mairerekomenda mo? Ano ang mairerekomenda mo?
What do you want?
Anong gusto mo? Anong gusto mo?
What happened?
Anong nangyari? Anong nangyari?
What time does it open?
Anong oras ito nagbubukas? Anong oras ito nagbubukas?
What time is it?
Anong oras na? Anong oras na?
What would you like to drink?
Ano bang gusto mong inumin? Ano bang gusto mong inumin?
What's for dinner?
Ano bang para sa hapunan? Ano bang para sa hapunan?
What's the next stop?
Ano ba ang susunod na babaan? Ano ba ang susunod na babaan?
What's the temperature?
Ano ba ang temperatura? Ano ba ang temperatura?
What's this?
Ano ito? Ano ito?
What's wrong?
Anong problema? Anong problema?
What's your favorite website?
Ano ang paborito mong website? Ano ang paborito mong website?
What's your name?
Anong pangalan mo? Anong pangalan mo?
When is your birthday?
Kailan ba ang iyong kaarawan? Kailan ba ang iyong kaarawan?
When will the plane leave?
Kailan aalis ang eroplano? Kailan aalis ang eroplano?
Where are we going?
Saan ba tayo pupunta? Saan ba tayo pupunta?
Where are you from?
Taga saan ka? Taga saan ka?
Where do you live?
Saan ka ba nakatira? Saan ka ba nakatira?
Where do you work?
Saan ka ba nagtratrabaho? Saan ka ba nagtratrabaho?
Where is it?
Saan ba iyon? Saan ba iyon?
Where is the?
Nasaan ang? Nasaan ang?
Where is the bathroom?
Saan ba ang banyo? Saan ba ang banyo?
Who is it?
Sino ito? Sino ito?
Who's going?
Sinong pupunta? Sinong pupunta?
Who's there?
Sino yan? Sino yan?
Why are you late?
Bakit ka nahuli? Bakit ka nahuli?
Yes, I do.
Oo, ginagawa ko. Oo, ginagawa ko.
Yes.
Oo. Oo.
You have good taste.
Maganda ang taste mo. Maganda ang taste mo.
You look gorgeous.
Ang ganda mo. Ang ganda mo.
Your smile is beautiful.
Maganda ang iyong ngiti. Maganda ang iyong ngiti.
You're handsome.
Ang gwapo mo. Ang gwapo mo.
You're smart.
Ang galing mo. Ang galing mo.
You're welcome.
Walang anuman. Walang anuman.
Want to speed up your language learning? Get access to all of our best PDF cheat sheets for free. Just click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now.
Would you like to dance?
Gusto mo bang sumayaw? Gusto mo bang sumayaw?
You look great.
Ang ganda, gwapo mo. Ang ganda, gwapo mo.
Can you come back later?
Pwede kang bumalik mamaya. Pwede kang bumalik mamaya.
Sorry, we're completely booked.
Paumanhin, puno po kami. Paumanhin, puno po kami.
We'll give you a call.
Tatawagan ka namin. Tatawagan ka namin.
I'll leave it up to you.
Bahala ka na. Bahala ka na.
Is the water too cold?
Masyado bang malamig ang tubig? Masyado bang malamig ang tubig?
Is this your first time with us?
Unang pagkakataon mo ba ito sa amin? Unang pagkakataon mo ba ito sa amin?
Do you like it?
Gusto mo ba ito? Gusto mo ba ito?
It looks great.
Ang ganda. Ang ganda.
I have no money.
Wala akong pera. Wala akong pera.
I want to go here.
Gusto kong pumunta dito. Gusto kong pumunta dito.
I'm looking for this place.
Hinahanap ko ang lugar na ito. Hinahanap ko ang lugar na ito.
It takes 3 to 5 business days.
Kailangan ng 3 hanggang 5 araw ng opisina. Kailangan ng 3 hanggang 5 araw ng opisina.
Could I have a statement, please?
Pwede po akong makahingi ng statement? Pwede po akong makahingi ng statement?
I'd like to exchange money.
Gusto kong magpalit ng pera. Gusto kong magpalit ng pera.
I'd like to make a deposit.
Gusto kong magdeposito. Gusto kong magdeposito.
I'd like to make a withdrawal.
Gusto kong maglabas ng pera. Gusto kong maglabas ng pera.
Sign here, please.
Pakipirma rito. Pakipirma rito.
Go back.
Bumalik ka. Bumalik ka.
Are there any annual charges with this account?
May taunang bayarin ba ang account na ito? May taunang bayarin ba ang account na ito?
I'd like to open an account.
Gusto kong magbukas ng account. Gusto kong magbukas ng account.
Does this hurt?
Masakit ba ito? Masakit ba ito?
I have a cough.
May ubo ako. May ubo ako.
I have a stomachache.
Masakit ang tiyan ko. Masakit ang tiyan ko.
I have a headache.
Masakit ang ulo ko. Masakit ang ulo ko.
I have a fever.
May lagnat ako. May lagnat ako.
It's already full.
Puno na ito. Puno na ito.
About 2 weeks.
Halos 2 linggo. Halos 2 linggo.
Is there something wrong?
Mayroon bang problema? Mayroon bang problema?
I'm here to visit family.
Nandito ako para bumisita ng pamilya. Nandito ako para bumisita ng pamilya.
I'm here on business.
Nandito ako para sa negosyo. Nandito ako para sa negosyo.
I'll stay at the Central Hotel.
Mamamalagi ako sa Central Hotel. Mamamalagi ako sa Central Hotel.
Have you ever been here before?
Nakapunta ka na ba dito dati? Nakapunta ka na ba dito dati?
It will snow on Friday.
Magninyebe sa Biyernes. Magninyebe sa Biyernes.
Tomorrow will be sunny with showers.
Magiging maaraw bukas na may kalat-kalat na pag-ulan. Magiging maaraw bukas na may kalat-kalat na pag-ulan.
Tomorrow will be sunny.
Magiging maaraw bukas. Magiging maaraw bukas.
What's the temperature?
Ano ba ang temperatura? Ano ba ang temperatura?
Is it hot in the summer?
Mainit ba sa tag-init? Mainit ba sa tag-init?
What's the weather like in winter?
Ano kaya ang lagay ng panahon sa taglamig? Ano kaya ang lagay ng panahon sa taglamig?
There will be heavy rain in the evening.
Magkakaroon ng malakas na ulan sa gabi. Magkakaroon ng malakas na ulan sa gabi.
There will be thunderstorms in the afternoon.
Magkakaroon ng bagyo na may pagkulog sa hapon. Magkakaroon ng bagyo na may pagkulog sa hapon.
A storm is coming.
Paparating ang isang bagyo. Paparating ang isang bagyo.
It will rain in the afternoon.
Uulan sa hapon. Uulan sa hapon.
What bad weather?
Isang masamang panahon. Isang masamang panahon.
It's been raining all day.
Umulan sa buong araw. Umulan sa buong araw.
It's a beautiful day.
Ito ay isang magandang araw. Ito ay isang magandang araw.
So, what's new?
Anong bago? Anong bago?
Where did you go today?
Saan ka pumunta ngayong araw? Saan ka pumunta ngayong araw?
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com. I'm sorry.
Patawad ako. Patawad ako.
Don't worry.
Huwag mag-alala. Huwag mag-alala.
It's okay.
Okay lang. Okay lang.
please?
Pakisuyo. Pakisuyo.
Please forgive me.
Patawarin mo ako. Patawarin mo ako.
I really appreciate it.
Ikinalulugod ko. Ikinalulugod ko.
Thank you. Salamat. Salamat.
You're welcome.
Walang anuman. Walang anuman.
Make yourself at home.
Ariin mo itong parang bahay mo. Ariin mo itong parang bahay mo.
Hello.
Kamusta? Kamusta?
Good morning.
Magandang umaga. Magandang umaga.
Goodbye.
Paalam. Paalam.
Long time no see.
Ang tagal nating di nagkita. Ang tagal nating di nagkita.
Good evening.
Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Pasensya na sa abala. Pasensya na sa abala.
Wait a moment.
Pahintay po ng saglit. Pahintay po ng saglit.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Awesome.
Galing. Galing.
Delicious.
Sarap. Sarap.
I like it.
Gusto ko yan. Gusto ko yan.
I don't like it.
Hindi ko gusto ito. Hindi ko gusto ito.
How are you?
Kamusta? Kamusta?
Really?
Talaga? Talaga?
Help.
Tulong. Tulong.
Where are you from?
Taga saan ka? Taga saan ka?
What's your phone number?
Ano ang phone number mo? Ano ang phone number mo?
What time is it?
Anong oras na? Anong oras na?
What is it?
Ano iyon? Ano iyon?
This is for you.
Ito ay para sa'yo. Ito ay para sa'yo.
Slower, please.
Pakibagalan. Pakibagalan.
Once again, please.
Pakiulit. Pakiulit.
Nice to meet you.
Ikinalulugod kitang makilala. Ikinalulugod kitang makilala.
It's difficult.
Ito ay mahirap. Ito ay mahirap.
I'm good.
Mabuti naman ako. Mabuti naman ako.
I don't understand.
Hindi ko maintindihan. Hindi ko maintindihan.
How old are you?
Ilang taon ka na? Ilang taon ka na?
How have you been?
Kamusta ka na? Kamusta ka na?
It takes about 30 minutes by train.
Aabutin niyo ng halos 30 minuto sa pamamagitan ng tren. Aabutin niyo ng halos 30 minuto sa pamamagitan ng tren.
I want a bottle of water.
Gusto ko ng isang bote ng tubig. Gusto ko ng isang bote ng tubig.
I live in Los Angeles.
Nakatira ako sa Los Angeles. Nakatira ako sa Los Angeles.
My vacation starts in 2 weeks.
Magsisimula ang bakasyon ko sa loob ng 2 linggo. Magsisimula ang bakasyon ko sa loob ng 2 linggo.
I've changed.
Nagbago na ako. Nagbago na ako.
I won't do it again.
Hindi ko na iyon gagawin ulit. Hindi ko na iyon gagawin ulit.
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
Ngayong Sabado at Linggo, pupunta ako sa sine. Ngayong Sabado at Linggo, pupunta ako sa sine.
What are you doing this weekend?
Ano bang gagawin mo sa Sabado at Linggo? Ano bang gagawin mo sa Sabado at Linggo?
I'll have time next week.
Magkakaroon ako ng panahon sa susunod na linggo. Magkakaroon ako ng panahon sa susunod na linggo.
I'm busy this week.
Abala ako ngayong linggo. Abala ako ngayong linggo.
Ready to start?
Handa nang magsimula. Handa nang magsimula.
You're handsome.
Ang gwapo mo. Ang gwapo mo.
I love you.
Mahal kita. Mahal kita.
I'm having a great time.
Nasisiyahan ako. Nasisiyahan ako.
10 phrases you always want to hear. Ang ganda mo ngayon. You look great today. Okay, the first phrase is, ang ganda mo ngayon. You look great today. This is kind of a double-edged sword because if you say, you look great today, did they look not great yesterday? But still, it's nice to hear, I guess. Ganda mo ngayon. Makeup ka. Miss na kita. I miss you. Next phrase is, miss na kita. I miss you. If you're away and they say I miss you, then that's fine, I guess, because like you're not together. But if someone says you and you've been hanging out like every day, that means something else. Like you're there but not there kind of thing. So see for yourself. So if you want to say that I really miss you, then you just say, miss na kita. May bonus sa katapusan ng buwan. There'll be a bonus at the end of the month. Okay, the next phrase that you always want to hear is, may bonus sa katapusan ng buwan. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. Yeah, this one, you'd want to hear this. Especially if you're like, not good with the bills. Napakagaling mong magluto. You're an excellent cook. Napakagaling mong magluto. You're an excellent cook. If you know how to cook, unlike me, and you give your friends some of the things you cook, and they say this to you, then always want to hear that. Yeah. Magpahinga ka. Ako ang maglilinis ngayon. Take a break. I'll do the cleaning today. Magpahinga ka. Ako maglilinis ngayon. Take a break. I'll do the cleaning today. Oh, yeah. Because if you hear this, that would be very great as well. I need help with the cleaning. Tama ka. You're right. Okay, another thing you might want to hear is tama ka. Or you were right. Yeah, I guess you want to hear this when you're in an argument. Dinalhan kita ng isang special na bagay. I brought you something special. Next one is, dinalhan kita ng isang special na bagay. That means, I brought you something special. I want something special. Unlimited ang budget. The budget is unlimited. Next phrase you would want to hear is, unlimited ang budget. Or, the budget is unlimited. Definitely, if you want like bunch of equipment and they say to you, the budget is unlimited. Like, yeah! Ililibre kita. I'll treat you. Next one is, ililibre kita. Meaning, I'll treat you. Ah, so nice. Oh, many Filipinos love hearing this. So like, if you want to make Filipino friends, make sure to say this. Yeah. Ang bait mo. You're kind. Ang bait mo. Meaning, you're kind. Sometimes it's nice to know that like your kindness is being appreciated. So like if someone says this to you, then you'll feel happy, I guess. If you want to convey that they're very kind, just repeat the adjective. So it's gonna be ang bait-bait mo. So that means you're very kind.
How to respond to how are you? Let's go. Kamusta? Kamusta? How are you? So the first word is how are you? In Filipino, kamusta? So this is very useful when you pass by someone, you want to know how they are, right? Or you just want to ask someone how they are. At ikaw? At ikaw. And you? At ikaw? Or in English, and you? How do you usually respond when people ask you, how are you? And you? So if you're trying to avoid answering this question, you can ask, at ikaw? Or, and you? Probably you're like feeling too tired from work or something, right? Or you can, like casually, more people would say, ikaw? Or just simply, ikaw? It all means, and you. So it's a kind of like a nice gesture if someone asks you, how are you? And then you want to ask the same question because you just want to be nice. Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? How have you been recently? So if you want to be more specific about asking them how they are in a certain period of time, you can ask, kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Or, how have you been recently? So probably you would have friends that would have gone to vacation or would have found a new job or would have graduated from university, which is only. And then you can ask them, how have you been recently? Mabuti ako. Mabuti ako. I'm fine. So how do you answer all these how are you questions and variations of how are you? First, you can say, if you are really feeling this, mabuti ako, or I'm fine. Of course, you can say it if you're not fine, right? I mean, if you just want to like, because sometimes when you say, I'm not so okay, I'm feeling a bit down, then they would ask you more things. But sometimes if you don't want to answer any of these things, but you are not fine, you can still say, I'm fine. But in Filipino, you ask people like, how are you because you want to know how they are. Or we don't really say this as a greeting. Okay naman ako. Okay naman ako. I'm not bad. Aside from I'm fine, how can you respond to how are you? You can say, okay naman ako, or I'm not bad. So if you are feeling like saying that you are not so fine, but you are also not not fine. You can say, well, I'm not bad. It's okay. Everything's cool. But I'm crying inside. I'm dead inside. Okay. Inaantok ako. Inaantok ako. I'm sleepy. If you're feeling sleepy, you can say, inaantok ako. Or, I'm sleepy. After lunch, usually that's the time when you feel this, like, you're really like sleepy. Even though you have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy, or sometimes you don't have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy. So, you can say it. It's valid, it's okay. Just don't say it to your boss. I don't think, if your boss asks you, how are you? I'm sleepy. Oh, that's not really good. Well, probably you should go home, not come back anymore. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. That's how it will go, right? Masama ang pakiramdam ko. Masama ang pakiramdam ko. I'm feeling bad. Or if you are not feeling so well, you can say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Or, I'm feeling bad. So, you can say this if you have a bit of cold, for instance, or your stomach is upset, or what else? Or you have a broken heart, like those kinds of things. So if you want to say that you're feeling bad, you say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Okay ako. Okay ako. I'm okay. But what if you're just fine? What if you're just okay, but you don't want to say, I'm fine? Or mabuti naman ako, or ayos naman ako. You can also say casually, okay ako. Which is very casual. Very simple, okay ako. Okay na okay ako. Okay na okay ako. I'm great. If you want to say that you are really doing great, then you can say, okay na okay ako. You would have to note that in Filipino, when you repeat words, it, what's it called? It's like, it's a superlative version of the adjective, kind of. But it's not. But it's kind of like amps up the impact of the adjective. So it's equivalent to very. So you would say, okay na okay ako, meaning I'm super duper okay, right? Or if you're really, for instance, sleepy, you would say, antok na antok ako, instead of just saying antok ako, right? Salamat sa pagtatanong. Salamat sa pagtatanong. Thank you for asking. And for instance, you were feeling bad, and then this person that asked you, how are you, made you feel happy, then you can say, thank you for asking, or salamat sa pagtatanong. Because of course, you felt happy that someone asked you, especially if you're feeling bad.
Want to speed up your language learning? Get access to all of our best PDF cheat sheets for free. Just click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now.
I'm sorry.
Patawad ako. Patawad ako.
Don't worry.
Huwag mag-alala. Huwag mag-alala.
It's okay.
Okay lang. Okay lang.
Please?
Pakisuyo. Pakisuyo.
Please forgive me.
Patawarin mo ako. Patawarin mo ako.
I really appreciate it.
Ikinalulugod ko. Ikinalulugod ko.
Thank you. Salamat. Salamat.
You're welcome.
Walang anuman. Walang anuman.
Make yourself at home.
Ariin mo itong parang bahay mo. Ariin mo itong parang bahay mo.
Hello.
Kamusta? Kamusta?
Good morning.
Magandang umaga. Magandang umaga.
Goodbye.
Paalam. Paalam.
Long time no see. Ang tagal nating di nagkita. Ang tagal nating di nagkita.
Good evening.
Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Pasensya na sa abala. Pasensya na sa abala.
Wait a moment.
Pahintay po ng saglit. Pahintay po ng saglit.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Awesome.
Galing. Galing.
Delicious.
Sarap. Sarap.
I like it.
Gusto ko yan. Gusto ko yan.
I don't like it.
Hindi ko gusto ito. Hindi ko gusto ito.
How are you?
Kamusta? Kamusta?
Really? Talaga? Talaga?
Help.
Tulong. Tulong.
Where are you from?
Taga saan ka? Taga saan ka?
What's your phone number?
Ano ang phone number mo? Ano ang phone number mo?
What time is it?
Anong oras na? Anong oras na?
What is it?
Ano iyon? Ano iyon?
This is for you.
Ito ay para sa'yo. Ito ay para sa'yo.
Slower, please.
Pakibagalan. Pakibagalan.
Once again, please.
Pakiulit. Pakiulit.
Nice to meet you.
Ikinalulugod kitang makilala. Ikinalulugod kitang makilala.
It's difficult.
Ito ay mahirap. Ito ay mahirap.
I'm good.
Mabuti naman ako. Mabuti naman ako.
I don't understand.
Hindi ko maintindihan. Hindi ko maintindihan.
How old are you?
Ilang taon ka na? Ilang taon ka na?
How have you been?
Kamusta ka na? Kamusta ka na?
It takes about 30 minutes by train.
Aabutin niyo ng halos 30 minuto sa pamamagitan ng tren. Aabutin niyo ng halos 30 minuto sa pamamagitan ng tren.
I want a bottle of water.
Gusto ko ng isang bote ng tubig. Gusto ko ng isang bote ng tubig.
I live in Los Angeles.
Nakatira ako sa Los Angeles. Nakatira ako sa Los Angeles.
My vacation starts in 2 weeks.
Magsisimula ang bakasyon ko sa loob ng 2 linggo. Magsisimula ang bakasyon ko sa loob ng 2 linggo.
I've changed.
Nagbago na ako. Nagbago na ako.
I won't do it again.
Hindi ko na iyon gagawin ulit. Hindi ko na iyon gagawin ulit.
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
Ngayong Sabado at Linggo, pupunta ako sa sine. Ngayong Sabado at Linggo, pupunta ako sa sine.
What are you doing this weekend?
Ano bang gagawin mo sa Sabado at Linggo? Ano bang gagawin mo sa Sabado at Linggo?
I'll have time next week.
Magkakaroon ako ng panahon sa susunod na linggo. Magkakaroon ako ng panahon sa susunod na linggo.
I'm busy this week.
Abala ako ngayong linggo. Abala ako ngayong linggo.
Ready to start?
Handa nang magsimula. Handa nang magsimula.
You're handsome.
Ang gwapo mo. Ang gwapo mo.
I love you.
Mahal kita. Mahal kita.
I'm having a great time.
Nasisiyahan ako. Nasisiyahan ako.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.